Hey everyone, Rather Incoherent here. Welcome back to Crusader Kings 2, and ignore that the world's completely different. We're just in an alternate save, we're running the clock down, because I want to know what event gives Ragnar Lothbrok his historical bloodline. Because it's really messing with me, it's eating me up inside, it's driving me mad, I've got to know. So, Ragnar Lothbrok does basically mean Ragnar Shaggy Breeches, which I thought was really weird when I was reading up on him. And this event is basically that this kid starts wearing shaggy pants around, and then his friends make fun of him and call him Ragnar Shaggy Pants. And then he gains diligent and brawny, and that's weird, but like historical and fine with it, I guess. And if there were a second event that gave him his bloodline, that would be fine. But there isn't. This one also gives him his bloodline, and that doesn't make any goddamn sense. I don't really have an explanation or justification for this. I'm a little bit madder than I was before, but at least I'm not confused anymore. Okay, so coming back to Saxony, there's a lot of management we need to do. We need to get rid of at least 2 counties, and by at least 2, I mean exactly 2. And if we look at our new counties, this one's not in the duchy, so it's the one I'm giving away, and the other one, these 3 counties are identical, except that this one has the minimum amount of improvements and no tribal vassal. Temple vassal, rather. So these 2 are being given away. When it comes to who, let's just invite a few nobles to court. Yeah, like this guy, he's shrewd, temperate, chaste, and shy. I can deal with this guy having land, congratulations! Alright, so this solves the problem, at least temporarily. As I conquer more and more lands, I'm going to keep doing that, where I just make double or triple counts or single dukes, just to get the land out of my hands and into someone else's, because I can't really afford to, like... I can never give this man more land. Speaking of, I'm pretty sure I can't give this man as much power as I've already given him, right? Heralder has favors to over half of my council, all but 1 person. So, Heralder's got to go. That's really the full extent of it. I basically just invited him as a trick to make him think that he could get favors on people, waste his resources getting favors, and then kick them off the council. Which will, yes, piss him off, but counterpoint, it turns out he's a malcontent that's ruining everything for me, so fuck him. Now I'm at 4 loyalists, which I think means that I can do anything I want, and everyone will agree no matter what it is. Yeah, we get Holy War Savonia, no problem. Now, the slight problem with that is that Savonia is a part of the defensive pack that covers the whole fucking world. So when we fight them, we basically have to land here and here instantly as soon as the war starts, win the fights, assault, come to here, join up, assault, and instantly end the war. And right now, our retinues are pretty weak. These guys literally aren't part of the army yet, we just need to have our retinues chill out for a little while longer and grow to be big and strong. Something I completely forgot to show off last time is I have this cool ass crown now. The Filker's Crown, which gives me 0.4 monthly prestige, 0.7 monthly piety, plus 2 martial, plus 2 stewardship, and plus 10 tribal vassal opinion. So just like a really good crown. Very nice. Oh, and I also still have, whoever the Moaner's skull. Ihala. Really? Ihala the Moaner? Alright. So I don't know why this is happening. I was going to say that I'm able to raid because I have the Norse culture, so it doesn't matter that my religion can't. But it turns out that my religion can. About halfway down, you can see that I'm able to raid infidel neighbors. And I'm not really sure why I'm able to do that, to be honest. Because I don't have the old Reformed Germanic traits from before Holy Fury. Like, I can't sail down rivers. I don't know how to check, but I suspect that I don't have increased levy size. And there's nothing in any of the tooltips. Like, I went back and checked another save for reforming the religion. As far as I can tell, the only things my religion gets are the ones that I pick. I don't see any tooltips anywhere suggesting that I would get raiding infidels, or any other traits. So all told, I'm really just confused, but moral of the story is still the same, I'm still able to raid. That's what really matters. Anyway, enough random asides, let's get back on track. I need to sort out the marriage game. My wife is basically a talentless hack, so is one of my concubines, and my 2 genius concubines are about to go barren at 45. I have 3 kids, 2 of age, and 1 that's about to have age, a 14-year-old daughter. That all need to be married, and I just had a 0-year-old daughter that may as well get betrothed. So I'll be back to you once I've played the marriage game. Alright, so this is much, much later. That took forever. I actually had a spreadsheet open with all the candidates because I was going through all the bloodlines to see if there was anybody who I could get in. And I can actually link in multiple bloodlines right now. This is Bedware Ap Owain, and he is a member of the Blood of Caradog bloodline. And all of these bloodlines are shit. None of them are particularly good. Morale defense 5%, Welsh opinion +5, personal combat +5, monthly prestige +0.2. But hey, It's a thing that I can get that I would otherwise not have, and that's really the full decision making. So we're going to betroth him to, I believe, my 14-year-old daughter. Yes. So next up is Attila. And despite his name, Attila is not here for a bloodline. Attila is here because he is a genius. And he's young enough that they haven't caught on that he's valuable yet. So we're going to betroth him into our 0-year-old. So now we have Bagatur Ashina, who is a member of the Ashina bloodline. Monthly prestige, 0.2, combat skill plus 5. You're going to see that a lot. All of the shit bloodlines just got monthly prestige, 0.2, personal combat plus 5. Tingri are also plus 5, Altaic are plus 5, and children can prove themselves as mercenaries. Which I think I can already do, but I'm not sure. Regardless, we're going to marry him off to our 17-year-old. It's going to be a bit of a wait, but this is just how it's going to go, unfortunately. I particularly like this one. This Ragnar kid is of the Heleda house, but he's a bastard, because he's actually from the Carolingian dynasty. And because he is a bastard, no one cares about him, and I can matrilineally marry him to Sigrid. And honestly, I just love that. I love the idea of my shield maiden daughter essentially stealing a Carolingian bastard for prestige. Now, marriages for me are a lot simpler. My daughters can get matrilineal marriages, and that allows them to take new bloodlines into the family, but I can't do that. And so, I just need to get genetic traits, like genius. And when I've been going through to find genetic traits for me, there's this weird thing that's happening, where, like, I've married everyone under the sun. Slavs have been cool with me forever, but I want to marry this girl? No one cares. Well, they do care, but not for religion reasons. And that wasn't me, which also makes it worse. Arrange a betrothal with this kid to my kid? They're fucking fine with it. The Catholics love me now. But for some inexplicable reason, the Byzantines still think I'm infidels. And I'm gonna have to save for a second to go show you why I'm confused. So this is the Norway game that I was playing before I decided to start making a series out of Crusader Kings 2. But the important thing here to show is that in this game, where I've reformed the religion, and I've tested it by going back and reforming the religion with the exact same rules as this one on my Let's Play save, I can just marry the Byzantines on this one. Like, hey, I'm sure you have a kid, right? Yeah, sure. Want to marry him to my kid? And they're fine with it. They don't care at all. We're not infidels. And I have no idea what the difference is. So the point of that little aside is that it's slightly harder for me to find concubines and wives than I should because the Byzantines are just refusing to interact with me, and I'm not sure why. Maybe it just takes time? Like, I honestly don't know. It seems like a bug. It seems like it should be the same on both saves regardless of how it works. So, back to reality. We need to divorce our wife, which is going to cost us 20 gold, but oh well. We need to set aside all of our concubines, because frankly, everyone we're breeding with right now is just a subpar. We can do better. So, first of all, I would be happy to marry Daria here. But I can't, because she is the lover of the man who's making the marriage deal. Weirdly, if I just take her as a concubine, he's fine with it. It just doesn't check if he's her lover for that one, and I don't know if that's intentional. It feels like an oversight. But 100%, I will take the 18-year-old incredibly fertile genius. That sounds great to me. So on the genius front, the only other people I can take are various Christians. And I have to marry them. If they're Christian, they won't give me concubines. I would like to marry this disfigured girl here, but he won't because he'd prefer a matrilineal marriage. Which is just ridiculous. Like, it's not my fault he had 4 daughters in a row and his son's only 15. That might mean that if I wait a year, I could actually get away with it, but, like, fuck him. So, I'm not really big on this whole losing 200 prestige to marry a genius deal. I'm fine marrying a bunch of strong girls. I can probably find somebody in a noble house somewhere. But, I could just marry her off to, like, my extremely talented commanders that love me. And that doesn't seem like a half-bad idea. They'll start having kids that'll be geniuses in my realm. It seems like a good play. So I'm going to do that. And it also prevents these geniuses from being actually in the Catholic realms, which are going to go to war with eventually. Shit, I don't remember who I just married her to. Not Ake, and Ake deserves a good marriage. So I can take this strong Slavic woman as a concubine, which I absolutely will. Which leaves me with 1 concubine slot and a wife to take. Even the Muslims don't think I'm an infidel anymore. Why are the fucking Orthodox so uppity? I'm not big on club-footed, though. There's an equal chance of passing that down in strong, and they'll probably not appear on the same kid, which is all that really matters, but I still don't want to risk it. So there is a lustful, quick spymaster somewhere that I'll take as a concubine. I can't really find anyone else in pagan religion groups who are strong or genius, which just leaves a wife. And a wife is awkward, because I want somebody from, like, a relative of a king. I don't want to lose prestige on this wife. Somehow I reckon the Princess of Austrasia did not get pregnant from her 14-year-old betrothed. I'm sure that's going to go over well politically. So if I take anybody with good genetics, I'm going to end up losing 300 prestige, or 200, which will push me into the negative prestige, my retinue stop growing, and realistically, we're probably not going to have a kid with good genetics anyway. So instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to marry somebody from a great house that has high stewardship, and it's not going to be this girl. Okay, so Morag in France is wroth, honest, shrewd, child of a concubine, and a fortune builder. They've got 16 stewardship. All told, they're not very good. But marrying them gives me 2 prestige as opposed to negative 200. She's honestly only marginally better than my previous wife, if I'm being real. Did I already try to marry this woman? Because I was considering, maybe it's worth marrying this person, and I lose 200 prestige, so it's not, but he's already considering an offer from us. Which implies I've already misclicked and married this woman. So I guess I'm just going to unpause and see what happens. So, we have a strong concubine, a quick concubine that's also lustful. We have, oh, that's what I did. I married her to Ake because I wanted him to have a genius wife. There we go. Alright, let's continue with finding me a marriage partner then. I think I'm completely content to just marry this relatively mediocre girl who was you, Morag. Because it's a slight gain in both realm stewardship and prestige, and no one else really seems fit for the job. It's unfortunate that I couldn't get good genetics, but it's just the way that it is. People are doing usurping shit, just happens. I've taken concubines, this time a genius lustful concubine, and a Midas touch, so she's really fertile. I have betrothed my youngest daughter, I believe, to the 1-year-old genius named after Attila. I betrothed my oldest shield maiden daughter to the 15-year-old Carolingian bastard. I betrothed my second best commander to a genius girl, who's actually apparently a really good commander herself. Like, wow. They're gonna have a lot to talk about. This girl is brilliant. It's a shame she hates me. I betrothed my 17-year-old Midas Touch daughter, who is, like, quite a good steward, to the bloodline of Ashina. That'll go through in 4 years. I betrothed my 14-year-old daughter to a 12-year-old with Irish blood, the blood of Caradog. Oh shit, I'm remembering that wrong. This isn't the Irish blood, this is the British blood. Just a really not a British-sounding name. And now I'm married to this girl, maxed out on concubines, and all my kids should be married or betrothed. Yes, perfect. That is the marriage game complete. You know, just 54 messages about how everyone's joining and leaving the defensive pact. So, this guy's looking a bit fucked since my super vassal just styled him. Doesn't really have any way to retaliate. Frankly, I think I'm just willing to take the tyranny hit and tell him to fuck off. Oh, right, yeah, I literally can't, because we didn't actually pass that law. And we can't pass that law because we have to wait longer for it than anything else. This is 802, so we can just pass stuff now, and the only stuff we can pass, since we don't have absolute tribal authority, is just random shit, like increasing the burger tax. So, get on it, guys. Okay, so before I forget, there's something we need to do. Because we're just not doing it right now. All these prisoners, I haven't been keeping them for shits and giggles. I mean, I've been doing it for shits and giggles, but I've had other reasons, right? You see, now that I worship the blood gods, we have a use for them. I'm actually going to make a custom filter just for sacrificing to the blood gods. We want to search our court for people who are in prison, and not my religion. We're going to save this as filter 1. Now, I've got bad news for anyone who shows up under filter 1. This is the sacrifice of the blood gods filter. The priests drag Astrid screaming to the top of the temple. They place her on the altar and slice her open with a ceremonial dagger. They then tear out her still beating heart to the cheers of the assembled crowd. Let this sacrifice appease you, almighty creators. Gain 5 piety. Now, I can't be bothered to read that every time, because we're gonna be doing it a lot. There's a whole lot of sacrificing to blood gods going on today. If you've been in my jail this long and no one's paid for you, you're fucking dead. And better than anything else, there's actually no penalty to doing this. This isn't like executing. There are no downsides to killing somebody in this method. Now, it looks like that's actually all we had. Oh, wait. Almost got away. Alright, so that's everyone dead. And we aren't doing that for the piety. Trust me. I know that killing like 7 people for 35 piety is not very useful. We're doing that because once time ticks by, I leave the altar with my clothes still dripping of the blood of my last victim. After having officiated a few sacrificial rites, I have found that my hands are much steadier and that my heart is much more impervious to the incoherent pleas of my offerings to the gods. It needs to be done. Valkyr Thordor gains Hemophiliac, which gives me 0.1 monthly piety, -5 feudal opinion, -5 city opinion, +5 church opinion, +5 same trait opinion, +5 opposite trait opinion, and I've got no idea what the opposite trait of hemophiliac is, or why it would be fond of hemophiliac, and +5 tribal opinion. So essentially this just says +5 tribal opinion. Now, the reason we want that, and before we actually show that off, I want to fix my commanders. Specifically, I want to make sure all my bad commanders have been fired, and I want to make sure that my best commanders are actually here, and it looks like they are. So, now that I'm a hemophiliac, I can organize the blood games. We can now throw Viking Battle Royale, and we absolutely will. And while we wait for that, I guess we can watch our vassals duke it out. And by duke it out, I mean this guy get brutally murdered. If I could revoke titles, I would break this up because it's border gore fucked. I've got him in Kingdom of Denmark, Kingdom of Sweden, and Kingdom of Norway. Once I make kings, this guy is still a problem. So, I have to take his title at some point. So, the gods are sure to show their appreciation to the patron of the warrior who will emerge victorious in the blood games. I should make sure to pick the best candidate to represent my dynasty in the arena. And my options are to pick this random courtier in my jail, which seems like a bad call. She's 4 martial, 7 personal combat, probably not going to do it. I can pick this guy. I'm not going to click on him because I'm afraid it's not going to work. Or, I can click on my son, who is probably going to win, let's be fucking real. And now that I have the ability to select any of my children, I care a lot less if Gare dies. I want Gare to live, I want Gare to win. Because I want Gare to live through like a dozen blood games, it'll be amazing. Alternatively, he can die in the first one. I'm really not super attached to him because all he is to me is a siege leader. And I'm not really going to be sieging in Gare's lifetime. I'm mostly going to be assaulting very small holdings or pillaging. So, suit up, Gare, it's time to go. And I will spend 50 gold getting him the best gear that money can buy. I don't want him to die for no reason. I want him to die for a very specific reason. Because he wasn't good enough. Scores of criminals, slaves, and desperate souls have gathered in the arena of Upland, hoping to earn the blessing of the gods by becoming the champion of the tournament. I take my place of honor alongside the rest of the Germanic nobility and wait as the priest finished consecrating the ground before the beginning of the games. Let the blood start flowing. Man, these poor guys just having their normal war instead of our crazy battle royale. The crowd roars in approval as another warrior falls to the ground defeated. The weakest contenders have been quickly disposed of, leaving space for the more experienced fighters, and blessing the ground of the arena with their blood. Soon their remains will be burned to honor the gods. More blood for the gods! As the dust settles and the crowd cheers dissipate, the priests escort Gare out to the arena's main balcony in order to congratulate him for his victory. Through his actions, many souls have been delivered to the gods today, and by his victory, he has undoubtedly blessed the name of my dynasty. I knew he was the chosen one and gained 25 piety. So Gare is now known as the Scarlet Painter, and he now has survived a blood tournament. -1 diplomacy. Remember, Gare doesn't actually suffer that penalty. He's never had any diplomacy. Anything that reads lose learning or lose diplomacy doesn't have a downside for Gare. And another way to say that is Gare is retarded and doesn't know how to talk to people or learn anything. But ignore that and focus on the fact that this silver lining is amazing. All he gets from blood tournaments is +15 personal combat. Sure, he'll probably die if we keep going forever, but the counterpoint is that maybe, just maybe, we can make our son into some insane lunatic version of Thor with a learning disability. Interestingly, Geir is not a known murderer, which means that it doesn't count as murder when you kill people in the blood games. Like, he literally has a diplomacy malice and a personal combat skill benefit from having survived the Hunger Games, but allegedly he has killed nobody. I feel like when you go through the Hunger Games, you should be forced to gain, like at least 2 to 6 random kills, right? Because, like, he definitely killed people. He's covered in their fucking blood. Alright, we're just gonna keep letting time tick now, because we're really just waiting for these guys to group up, get to about 8,000 strong, and then send 4k here, assault them both down, and then rejoin here. Because when we do have this war, fighting... Right, all of the defensive pacts against us seem to have disbanded for the time being. Only the Magyars remember how dangerous we are. Also, I found out the reason that Austrasia isn't in defensive pacts against us is because you can only join defensive pacts against nations that are more than twice as big as you. And for Austrasia, that would be nobody. So they actually cannot join a defensive pact. Now, everything I have previously said is false because Savonia just got confused and left. So we're just going to declare a holy war against them right now. The council's on board. We lose 100 piety to declare it. When we win it, we get the piety back, and we also get 50 prestige. And more importantly, we take full control of everything in the de jure duchy, which is all 3 of their tiles. And now they're dead. That was the whole war. They lost. Oh, I hadn't let time tick since the blood tournament. There might have been a time when the sight of blood unsettled me, or when the wailing of a child could make my dagger quake and fill my mind with dread. But not any longer. The gods have granted me the fortitude to perform their sacred work. The immortals must be appeased. Gain Hemophant. This man is renowned as a bloodthirsty fanatic, always looking for the next victim to sacrifice to his cruel gods. And this is pretty much exactly double Hemophiliac, with the exception that same trait is only +5, not +10. But yeah, it's just like the same reason a Hemophant is good. I mean, Hemophiliac is good, Hemophant is good. And we have a whenever we get cities, boy, we're gonna tax the shit out of them. Speaking of getting cities, I guess I'll mention it now, because I do have a lot of long-term plans about what I want to do. Specifically, one plan I obviously have. This is called Miklagard, and it's not called Miklagard right now. Someday, we're going to conquer that, and we're going to call it Miklagard once we have. If we go over to trade zones, you can see that we can't talk to the Jade Empire, because we're nowhere near any of them. And the easiest one for us to get, because we're assuming that we can conquer the Byzantine Empire, is to eventually declare a great holy war on the Kingdom of Trebizond, and take all of this, including this. So, on the subject of merchant vassals, eventually I'm going to make Trebizond itself into a merchant republic, and once I convert to feudalism, I will probably take my primary duchy at the time, make whatever the capital of it is, so in this case, if it stays the same over the next, 100 years, I would take Upland, make a city in it, make somebody the mayor of the city, make whoever was the mayor of Upland own Upland, give them the full county, and then give them the duchy, and they would form a merchant republic. So I want to form a merchant republic up here in the area where I'm centered, one down here in the Black Sea to cover all of the Byzantine lands and Greece, and I will probably form a third one somewhere over here in England sooner than either of those two. Because to form these two, I have to form this one, I need to convert into feudalism, and to form this one, I need to A, get to the year 900 for Great Holy Wars, and B, be able to fight the Byzantine Empire. The Byzantine Empire can form... I think the Byzantine Empire can call more men than me. Let me erase that. I know the Byzantine Empire can call more men than me, and I know they comically out-tech me, so it's not close right now, we can't do that. We might be big, but we're also really technologically unsophisticated. Oh man, technologically unsophisticated. That's a nice way of putting it, isn't it? That sounds so much better than ass backwards does. So, rather than just eat the attrition ticks, we're just going to assault everything. And I should have time running slower than this, because this is definitely inefficient and bad. He stopped leaving. He wants to fight me. That seems incredibly wrong. No, I don't know about you, but I think 4,000 is 8 times 500. Oh hey, allies are joining up. Lots of allies are joining him. It's a shame that they did that now instead of, like, the moment the war started, guys. Oh, I caught the ruler. If he can ransom himself, the war can keep going. Ah, damn. Well, he can't ransom himself because he has 11 whole gold. I could sacrifice him. But I'm not going to. That could break my casus belli. I'm just going to win the war. Man, that wolf warrior effect where you're more likely to capture enemy commanders is hilarious. So, I'm up to 9 domain with my new wife. And my new crown, I guess. These two have 1 holding, this has 2 holdings, so I'm going to give away these 2. We're going to see if there's anybody in my court I want to give them to. So, the commander I invited, Ake, who I've married to a genius wife, is unlanded. Now, admittedly, he has 2 deadly sins and he's stubborn and ambitious. But honestly, I have nothing but love for Ake. This guy has fought wars for me, I got an event about how good he is. Like, sure, he's ambitious, but as I recall, I got my ambitious from an event that he triggered. So I think I'm actually going to give Ake these tiles. It feels kind of wrong to give Ake this land, and I don't say that because it's, like, emotional and roleplay to give Ake this land. That's not my counterpoint to it. It's because it's emotional and roleplay to think that Ake deserves better than this frozen garbage. Like, can we conquer, like, Paris and give that to Ake? Do we have time in his lifetime to manage that? Probably not, right? I think, realistically, if I don't give this to Ake, I'm not giving anything to Ake, because all the land is shit. I'm gonna give this to Ake. I kind of want to, like, wait and give Ake Estonia or something. But if I don't give this to him now, odds are he's just going to randomly die before I give him anything. So, he gets this land. So Alfred the Tormentor recently formed the Duchy of Viking, and I may as well transfer the guy who actually is in de jure Viking to him. Because I'm over my vassal limit right now, and that's only going to get worse. Oh, right. Yes, that would be it. I can't, because he's not my vassal, is he? Yes, he's part... This guy might be de jure Viking, but he's part of my ridiculous super vassal that I can't break up yet. Yes, alright, good. So instead, wow, Saxony is border gored to shit. What did you do? This just says Saxony, is it mine? Look, dude, you can't call yourself Saxony like this. I'm Saxony. You can't also be Saxony. So I was trying to fix my vassals, because I'm over the limit now that I've given Ake land. And the more I try to fix it, the more I realize that this area from Saxony is border gored to shit. This super vassal is border gored to hell. There's really not a whole lot of consolidation that I can do. I can make the duchies of Nidaros and Vestlandet, and that's about all I can get done. And I'm going to do that, but man, I don't actually have the money to do multiple duchies right now. I can only do one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make one duchy on this coast, and I'm just going to transfer all 5 of these guys into it. Yeah, so this is just the problem we have, because we have such little access to money. We don't really have... Until we're an emperor making sub-kings, as a tribal society, we're really ill-equipped to deal with vassal limit. Okay, so... I can divorce my new wife. I'm just bleeding money on divorces, and marry a new wife with high diplomacy. For vassal limit only. And... unironically, that might be what I'm about to do, because I need vassal limit, and I can't really get it anywhere else. I can make somebody else Sigurd's boss, and I think that is a brilliant plan, because then Sigurd can't want me dead. So I'm going to give this guy the Jarldom of Vestergotland. If I include lower titles, Vestergotland doesn't include any of my land, right? Yeah. So I'm going to make this guy the Jarl of Vestergotland, because I don't need this duchy, it does nothing for me. And my land stays the same, but now, Sigurdur the Ring isn't part of my court, and I think that means he can't be part of assassination plots against me. Not part of my court, but part of my vassals. Now, I don't particularly want this guy getting conquered by my super vassal. So I wonder, can I make Jarl Thorolfur of Sealand over here? Can I just, like, make him somebody else's vassal to end that war? Where do they put an F alphabetically in this? Okay, so this guy literally doesn't show up on the list while he's being attacked, which makes sense that you shouldn't be able to do that. I'm going to transfer this boy king into, what's his name? Transfer Otter of Holland into my new duke. Just because I need to free up Vassal limit to conquer more lands. I might also give him these two guys. I'm going to, actually. So I want to give him Romerick and Vermilind. There's Romerick. And here's Vermilind. And now we have 2 super vassals, and we're about to make that worse, so we're going to form a duchy and make another one over here. The question is really just which duchy do we want to make? Do we want to make Vestlandit, or do we want to make Nidaros? And I think we want to make Nidaros just because that's one of our holy sites. I feel more attachment to it. Yeah, I'm going to give this guy... Which one of you has the most army? Because I want whoever gets this to consolidate it. So whoever has the most army is just getting a duchy that covers this entire coast, including this terrible Fenmark area. Actually, no, that'll cause border gore with kings down the line, so I won't do that. Okay, so it's definitely this guy. This guy gets to have a duchy that I'm making now. What duchy do you want? You don't get Vestlandit, because then you would use it as a de jure claim on my land and start hating me. You get to have Nidaros. Yeah, there goes most of my gold, but now I've got the Duchy of Nidaros. And now this guy gets to have the Duchy of Nidaros, including all of them as vassals. And he also gets to have Trig of Rumsdaler as a vassal. Okay, so now we have some more big vassals going around. Metalpad is technically a big vassal. I'll probably give this land to Metalpad once I eventually get it, make Metalpad the Kingdom of Fenmark. Is that what this is called? Fenmark? That sounds wrong. Lapland. Fenmark is just the name of some territory over here, isn't it? Yeah. You know, I've let a lot of time pass. I've just been burning down this county in Ireland. I mean, I guess it's fine. The boat's not full of money yet, so fuck this guy in particular, I guess. Just wasn't really planned. Now, this kid fucking hates me. Honestly, since we're rivals, if he makes it to 16, which I don't intend on letting him do, by the way, I'm going to immediately challenge him to a duel and kill him. Sort by plot power. His spy master unfortunately is not in on this. We still seem to have a lot of 15s floating around. This is feeling pretty decent to me. I'm gonna let time tick and see how it does. What council position do I need? A chancellor? For the time being, this random guy can be my chancellor. It doesn't matter to me. So next war, we're going to do much the same as I originally planned on this one. Half stack to here, meet here, push there. Did these people remember to join the defensive pact against me? What's wrong with you children? This should be common knowledge. I'm constantly getting spammed with random people joining and leaving my defensive pacts. But it's like, why are you ever leaving? Stay there. Don't ever leave. There's no time that is a bad time to be in a defensive pact versus the monster empire kingdom thing that I'm running that we are pretending is Saxony. I really don't understand. Why do people keep leaving defensive pacts versus me? This guy owns this full duchy, half of this duchy, and half of this duchy. Meanwhile, on either side of him lives the boy king that owns these two duchies. Oh man. This is just border gored to hell. I wish I had revoked titles to fix this, but it's just unfixable. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to let time tick, and we're going to see how many people join my plot. Which requires me to actually set the plot to auto-invite. And that looks like a lot of people. And this is looking like a pretty dead kid. Oh, he's super dead. Just a matter of time. Right, who are you? Oh yeah, you're Carolingian blood, right? You're the Carlings. You aren't named the Carlings, but yeah, sure as shit, he's a Carling. Don't let that bastard title trick you. so this is almost done. And I'm hoping that'll fill the boats. Thought that was the siege notification, it totally wasn't. Okay, how's the boat doing? 90 of 90 on loot, let's get the hell out of here. Get fucked, Ireland? 9 guys is just not the Viking might that I need. How many boats can I raise now? I can get 4 more if I raise and re-raise, if I dismiss and re-raise. Which is enough to have 2 stacks of 5, so I'm going to be doing that for sure. I need to make a new unit here. I send these 246 back, and the boat's going to pick them up on the way. And technically we're making our conquering army weaker here, but honestly, conquering is less important to us by far than pillaging. We are so close to shipbuilding it hurts. Council is discontent. Apparently I did some tyranny and didn't realize it. You know, it happens. Whoops, I did a bit of tyranny. 99.6% threat. Trust me, I know, I'm all too aware of the constant defensive acts. Oh, you know what? The council was probably like, we don't want you to give out the land. It's like, fuck you, council, this is not your decision. You want me to give it to random people who have no business owning the land anyway. Their decisions are so insane when it comes to giving out titles. It's like, this makes some amount of sense. I've made the guy next to the super vassal a super vassal to prevent him from eating all of my land. I made this coast into a duchy. That's pretty much it. That's all I did. I made a super vassal to wall in my other super vassal, and I made another duchy because I was over my vassal limit. And they're like, whoa, 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 hold the fuck up, Hitler. What are you doing? Making titles with the intent of giving them to your subjects. It's really annoying. I didn't even think to check, hey, did the council consider this act tyrannical? Like, admittedly, I don't care. If I die, it's only going to result in a better ruler, but... yeah, this super vassal is just terrifying. He can't beat me. Oh, right, I need to ransom any prisoners that are worth money. That would be none of them. Alright, honestly, all of you get the fuck out of my jail. You're taking up space and I can't even sacrifice you to the gods. Alright, so the boat's on its way back. This is our first 90 gold, 90 prestige in pillaging. Like, it's kind of underwhelming when you have this few boats. Influx of loot seems to be a really minor, useless effect. So, young Thorstein is trusting, which is a terrible thing to be. Kind is actually useful, unlike trusting, which just makes him weak. It looks like he's trusting anyway. That's a hell of a name, sir. My seer Thorolfer burst into your tent, flanked by several warriors dragging Rangberg with them in chains. My Filker, we caught this apostate in the act of reading the old Germanic scripture and giving praise to hell. What shall be done with them? So, first of all, I'm very confused. Because the old Germanic didn't have a scripture. That was literally something we viewed as a problem with it. So, in fact, he appears to be Reformed Germanic. I feel like we might just have different covers for the same book. That said, I think we're gonna burn him all the same, as compared to losing stats. If you aren't important to me and he drags you in here calling you a heretic, you're dead to me. And everyone else. It's not a saying, I'm actually killing you. You know, he was burnt on the stake by somebody. Could have been anybody. Might not have been me. Just every now and then I have to clip through all this defensive pack spam. Just, you know, 50 messages in a couple of months about people joining and randomly leaving. Oh hey, he's back in the defensive pack. That's a good move on his part. He really shouldn't have left in the first place. In fact, most of the world is back in the defensive pack. Why isn't Northumbria? They're probably excommunicated. He's not excommunicated, but this implies some weird shit, right? I don't know what a heresy arc is, but the leader of a fanatic and militant heretic set implies... oh, there we go, he's Fraticelli. Yeah, alright. So, he's not excommunicated. He's just a heretic. They're different. Ah, shit. This isn't how I'm supposed to do it. I need to raise new boats. So I don't have anything on 5. I'm willing to try to get patient. Because I think if it fails, the opposite of patient is rot, isn't it? I could just be remembering this super wrong. Like, you get angry when you run out of patience is how I'm remembering it. That doesn't make any sense, really. Hey, he had kids. I mean, they're not genius kids, but I tried. So, this time the event fired off correctly, and I got patient this time. And one better, apparently I'm chaste. And I can just like, hey, can we be lovers now to get rid of chaste? Which is fantastic. Two traits for the price of 1. Alright, so I actually want them to get off so I can reform these armies in, like, the correct orientation. Alright, excellent. My vassals have decided, what if we killed these guys? Why are they independent? We should stop that. Because I kind of can't afford to do it myself. I can't take that reputation hit, but my vassals definitely can. Okay, so now I have 2 pillaging bands, which is way better than 1 pillaging band. We're gonna go do the exact same thing, but twice as fast. I'm gonna keep waiting here, because if I attack now, I'm gonna lose a lot of men assaulting these down. Because these are 400 each, so that means that ideally you'd have a 4,000 stack to assault. I could also just dow him and siege him normally, but this guy's entire kingdom is going to come to his aid. Unless he messed up and left the defensive pact. If he did... Alright, no, he's in it. Everyone is in it. These people are afraid for their lives. England converted back to Catholicism to join the defensive pact. Wait, no. What? The heresy has joined the Catholic defensive pact. They're just like, yeah, fine. Jesus crosses, whatever, just make sure Saxony doesn't kill us. We can work out our differences later. The Byzantines still consider me an infidel, unfortunately. And a random thing, I can no longer declare war on Ireland or these islands. You can style England without boats, and I don't know why. But you can't dial Ireland or any of these islands without any boat techs, and I technically don't have boat techs as I've transferred my capital. A thought occurs, Kent is independent. I don't have any levies raised. Now, because nearby Catholic rulers might defend them, and, might is looking like, dear God, that all of them. This is it's like a deck of cards spread across the diplomacy tab. Let's not declare this war. I don't think that's going to go well for us. We have to have enough people to assault Kent down, like, as soon as we dial it. Do that sort of cheesy shit. And we just sort of can't. We need way more boats than we have for that. Okay, so I think right now things are, like, pretty calm and peaceful and reasonable. We just pillage with these 14 boats for a long time. Until this gets up to about 8,000. My slow son has had a son that looks just like he did when he was young, but he isn't slow. And that's great. You know what? I messed up. I can fix it. I can fix it. You can rename your children now if they're within their first 10 years of life. We're gonna name him George with an E. I really like that. I really like that, and I don't know why. I think it's incredibly funny. God! So, A, my spy master is dead, which is always a bad thing. And B, far worse, my genius son-in-law is not making genius babies anymore. He's fucking dead. Which is slightly worse than being in a Byzantine jail. So, next up to the Byzantine morgues is this random chief, who is, not my concubine. That's the reason he got picked. Now, since I'm here to think about it, you're gonna say no if I ask you to convert, because you don't like me. But if I give you money, how much does that make you like me? Not a whole fucking lot. Not enough to make you convert, that's for sure. Yeah, these people don't really seem to care if I give them money. Which means it's not really going to fly if I try to convert them. I'm just going to not worry about it. I will quickly check to see if there are a bunch of people in my court that serve no purpose that hate me. Oh, hey. Look at that. some random person that serves no purpose, I think it's called an ex-wife, that I can just... Do you mind leaving? Do you mind not being here? And this would be, the Genius Mystic Girl, right? Yeah, one of two. But I don't need you here. You're just another person to potentially stab me. This is the other Genius Mystic woman. She can also leave. And like, yes, this calls me prestige, but it also directly decreases the chance of me being stabbed in my sleep, which is probably the most important thing in the game. I'm pretty sure I set you aside. You are an old concubine, yes. You can also leave. Okay, so that's my court notably safer than it was. I've asked all of my ex-wives to leave. And we can go back to pillaging, because that's really all we need to do. Okay, so what war is this? Mercia? Mercia is the big one, right? Yeah. Just making sure nothing crazy has happened, and that this or this isn't Mercia. Because after this got subjugated by Manal, I've got no idea what the rules are anymore. And now, we can pillage 2 at a time. And Ake, you shouldn't be here. Counterpoint, maybe me and Ake should both be leading, because we're high-ranked wolf warriors. That's silly. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to have these be leaderless armies, so that nobody can die for no fucking reason when I stop paying attention and get jumped by a 3,000 stack of Englishmen. Right, yes, I'm killing a child. Weird how that always slips my mind. Alright, I enjoy throwing kids off roofs, it's a fucking classic, let's do it again. So he knows that someone's trying to kill him. I reckon he suspects it's me. But he has no proof. And that's what matters, because that's what gets you a -20 dishonorable penalty. Need to pay a little bit more attention, those are both done on gold. That's 33 gold from the first group. And now, since we have 2 teams, we can start doing, like, the most profitable thing in the game, which is just, like, jumping over here. There appears to be an army there. Let's jump slightly downstream. Yeah, let's jump over here away from the army. I don't know what that siege is about, but I don't want to be next to it. Alright, I can make my wife like me. I can make her fall in love with me. Okay, so will you now convert to my religion? What if I send you even more money? I really don't want you to kill me. Please just follow my religion. Okay, so now I can just take the top gold here, and as soon as it's gone, I'm out. And they should be distracted enough that they can't stop me in time. Because they have so much shit going on. This is not their priority. These aren't that big, but that still terrified me. So I'm going to hop down here. Now I'm going to raid these 2 provinces, and then once I'm done with them, I'm going to hit these 2 provinces, because by then, Asteria should have forgotten about me. That's assuming that my boat's not just filled already. Which I don't know how to check, because I keep grabbing my units instead. 78 out of 140. Right, I have substantially more boats, so I'm not going to be filled as quickly. Or to be specific, 5 more boats, but still, that's like 50% more. Just doesn't help. It just feels really bad to go 5 boats, 50%. Alright, so these guys are just eating attrition here. Whoops. Split in half, send 1 half here, keep the other half here. I just assumed that they could stand in my own lands and not fucking die, but I was very wrong. Who'd you find? You found my wife. My wife did a bad job of converting to the religion. So if I let her go free, I lose 10 piety. I hate my wife, but that doesn't mean anything. And, actually, looking at this, none of these seem to affect my wife's opinion of me. So I can, like, use the branding iron. And yeah, it fucks up her piety a lot, and people don't like her. I don't really need 10 piety, to be honest, but I feel like this event's gonna keep popping up if I don't brand her. I feel like it should, at least. Anyway, back to raiding. Now that I've fixed that nightmarish mistaken management where I've just been using prestige to regenerate troops that are dying to attrition. Hopefully that hasn't been going on too long, for only 1 or 2 ticks, but, still embarrassing, still bad. Now, I'm not super clear on what siege was lost, because I assumed it was this one, but there's no check marks. Oh, it's being raided, maybe. Guys, are you being raided by single county counts? You have 6 counties, dude. Get your shit together. So, back to raiding. Those guys... Just going to pretend my vassals aren't losing that. My backup son is... underwhelming. This is the sort of character I roll at the start of a game, and I'm like, he can fight somebody, so I guess he's alright. Oh, wait, I can make him ambitious, and now he's tremendously better. Oh. Or he could beef it and become groomed. I don't understand. Anyway, marry him off. This raiding is done. Get out. I'm just gonna come back this way and hit up, like, Friesland or something on the way back. Alright, a lot of things just happened. We're gonna handle my daughter first and pretend that I'm not being blackmailed simultaneously by multiple people, which implies that they've already let the secret slip and it's not really blackmail. So, Thordis is an excellent theologian, is a mastermind theologian. She's also depressed and ambitious, but I guess that's part of being a mastermind theologian. Next up, I can make her patient, which is, yeah, chance of becoming patient. That's great. So 21 learning is decent. She'll get married sooner or later. It is unfortunate that I didn't really consider this. Mastermind theologian will make her less fertile. So when 2 people come to you trying to blackmail you with the same information at the same time, I can't help but feel that one or both of them are lying. I feel like a third party has already sold this information to both of them. But how about you go fuck yourselves? I don't care if anyone knows I'm trying to kill children. So dishonorable? Like, what is the penalty for this? How mad are people that I'm trying to kill children? No, that's an old dishonorable penalty. I'm gonna be honest, it looks like the only effect of this is that this kid's going to know that I'm trying to kill him. But you'll remember that he's already my rival who knows I murdered his family. And also, he doesn't seem to have a modifier for I plan to kill him. Has everyone abandoned my plot because it's known? No, no one even cares! This is just a publicity stunt to get more people to join, really. So the greedy, lustful, gluttonous, kind, tough soldier wants to come fight a big-ass bear with me. I think 5 personal combat's enough to take a bear. Ah, damn, it wasn't. This was even bigger than the last time we fought a huge, bigger bear. The last time it was the biggest bear we'd ever seen, but this bear, this bear's the new biggest bear we've ever seen. And we couldn't save everyone this time either. They're just too big, I tell ya. I mean, I would like to fix this, but 100 gold is kind of a fucking lot, friends. I need to make duchies with that money. I need to make kingdoms and empires with that money. Yeah, so these should have plenty of money in them. One go to this one go to this one. They probably can't raise troops and do anything. Time to get wrecked when I find out how wrong I am. Oh hey, doubt besets me. Right, that's everything. Yeah, I want to be friends with the giant. That sounds awesome. So I can just come over here and drop it all. I don't actually need to go back to my land. The guy I made Jarl of Nidaros is doing his job and usurping shit, as a Jarl is wont to do. Get back on the boats. Head straight back out. Okay, so I'm actually going to set these up and send them in. I just don't really see a reason not to. I don't think the rest of the world can stop me. Yeah. This guy goes top, this guy goes bottom, they both assault, they join up here, they assault, they go here, we win the war. Easy peasy. Did that just call fucking 85? I might start saving my game and loading it when I declare wars, because it's faster than just clicking through all of this. God, why? That's so many messages, and they aren't actually important. Alright, we almost got caught by that 2,000 stack that instantly appeared. Now, try as they might, I'm still going to win this war. Your defensive packs cannot save you. Look, you're just costing me men, you're not winning. What? Come on. How did insulting that give me 0%? Now, good war, the entire rest of the world. Yes, that would be the Pope joining fucking Finland against me. Let's go to diplomatic real quick. Yes, that would be literally everything I've ever heard of, except for West Ireland, Iceland, Australia, and the Muslims teaming up to stop me. Unfortunately, speed is on my side. I still win. Good fucking try, everyone else. Still not good enough. Let me just click through all of this. Just every time I declare a war, I'm gonna have to save and load to clear out my fucking spam tab, because it thinks they're important messages. In my previous game, what I did is I waited for my threat to drop below whatever the threshold is, 5%, and then I declared war like against 40 people at once and fought them all. And I only realized with this campaign that I can just wait for my retinues to replenish, and then rush them. And, that's some funny interactions. I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, let's usurp this title. It's funny. That's mine now. Hey, Ake, you want to be, like, actually the best? So I'm just gonna give him this, make him way stronger than he is. Go to direct vassals. Yeah, just gave him everything we just conquered. Congratulations, Ake. Resign these commanders, split it in half. I said resign these commanders, please stop. We're going to split them into 2 stacks preemptively this time, but logically... I was going to say logically coastal tiles should be better, but evidently not. I guess they're marginally better, like 33% better. They're still terrible. So the next war is going to be notably easier because it's the single tile guy. We can actually probably just go do that now without even thinking about it. I was going to say he doesn't have any levies, but that's right because they're still raised trying to stop me. Oh, that was hilarious. Yeah, he's organizing the army. He's doing his best to keep these retinue replacement costs down. Okay, so that was hilarious. I got completely distracted by the message spam and just forgot to use my Vikings during it. But I'm going to call it for now. This has been Rather Incoherent. I hope you had a good time, and I'll see you around.